common question I get is how to wean my child off breastfeeding. The first thing I usually want to ask is, what is the reason you think they rely on it if they are old enough to eat food and drink from a cup? Usually the mom is clueless. I'm going to tell you the answer that is controversial, but it is also true. The reason a child resists weaning is usually because the mom has used it as a means to comfort them. Now the child sees breastfeeding as how mom shows love and how he can be comforted. Does that mean breastfeeding should not be comforting? No, of course not. It is part of showing love because it's providing nourishment to the child. That is loving. It also puts the child and mother physically close to each other and continues that bond that started in pregnancy. But the problem is when comforting becomes the purpose of nursing and feeding is no longer the purpose. That is where the problem lies, and that is why a child resists weaning. They don't want to lose their source of love and comfort. I've seen many moms do this, and most of the time they don't realize it. A child starts to cry over something that has nothing to do with hunger. For example, they fell down or their ball went under the bed and they get upset because they couldn't reach it. The mom will pick them up and start nursing them. Is this solving their problem and teaching them how to deal with disappointments appropriately? Or is it using nursing as a means to comfort? So the first key to weaning a child is to establish that breastfeeding's main purpose is for nourishment. And when I get a chance to talk to a young mom before weaning is appropriate, I always suggest that they do not use it as a means to comfort. If the child is hurt, upset, or needs comfort for a legitimate reason, give them hugs, stroke their face and wipe away their tears, talk to them and sing to them. But do not start breastfeeding them to take away their emotional pain. This sets up the idea that breastfeeding is for comfort and will make them more dependent on it for that purpose, which will bring about a difficult transition when it's time to wean them away from it. So how to wean a child? Number 1, time it right. The time to wean a child is when they are capable of nourishing themselves and are old enough to drink regular cow's milk. So if they are 1 year old, they have teeth, and are able to eat softened foods and drink from a cup, it's time to wean. Before 1 year old, there is some concern that a child's body will not be able to handle the proteins and minerals in cow's milk, so I do not recommend giving them milk before 1 year old. You can give them formula if you choose before that, but if you're able to breastfeed until 1 year, that is best. Breastfeeding is a huge benefit for an infant, both for bonding with their mother and for the health benefits it provides. But you know it's time to wean when you feel comfortable that they can receive all the nourishment they need without your body being a part of the provision for it. Number 2, offer bottles. Getting your child used to drinking from a bottle as early as possible is a good way to start the preparation of them getting liquid from another source. So as soon as they're willing to take a bottle, give them one with breast milk or water in it. I used to sneak into the nursery when my children were old enough to hold a bottle by themselves and put a small bottle of water in their crib at night so they could get used to providing the nourishment for themselves. Number 3, have them drink from a cup. When your child's about 6 months old, they should start learning to take sips from a cup. Sippy cups are great too, but if you're able to be there, also have them learn to sip from a cup without a lid. Number 4, reduce sessions length. For example, if you usually nurse for 10 minutes, start timing each session to reduce by 1 or 2 minutes. And then after about a week, eliminate one whole session itself. For example, if you nurse 3 times a day when they are a year old, eliminate the afternoon session first. Once your body adjusts to that, eliminate the morning session and then the evening one. Number 5, remember you are in charge. If you've made the mistake of using breastfeeding to comfort and now your child is emotionally dependent on this, you have to recognize that the transition needs to be made. They need to know that you love them whether they can breastfeed or not, and that you withholding that does not reflect on your care for them. So you have to take charge, give them hugs and kisses and do eye-to-eye time and etc. But do not allow them to throw a fit and then give in because they want to breastfeed. If they start to behave badly, the reason is they are not getting what they want, and that is inappropriate behavior. Make sure to give them plenty of good attention and lots of playtime, story time, song time, etc. during the weeks of weaning. But do not allow them to behave badly. A tantrum does not help them wean, nor does it teach them to behave themselves. If you don't know what to do about tantrums, click on the screen now to learn how to take charge without spanking. Before you do that, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Parents, you can do this. I hope to see you here next time.